Alrighty everybody, welcome back to Culz book reviews. We're doing quite a few this week. I think I'm going to read the most books I've read in quite a few years, so it's exciting stuff for you guys. It means more content, maybe some more recommendations. Obviously, our reviews of the Goosebumps series itself is leading kind of this charge to read more books because I've been trying to keep up with reading what each episode's title book is. In the last one, in episode 8, it's based on 2 books, but I guess it does kind of even it out because episode 1 and 2 was titled after Stay Out of the Basement. Today we're checking out what was episode 5, which was The Boy Who Cried Monster, but the book is The Girl Who Cried Monster by R.L. Stine. It is Goosebumps book number 8, so just number 8 in the original kind of series. But yeah, before we get to my thoughts on the book, let's check out the book itself. Up top we see R.L. Stine and Goosebumps. What's really cool is each book also has a different feel because of the different colors you'll see from the titles or the side, or the goo that's kind of seeping down around the artwork. You can see this one came with a free Goosebumps bookmark inside. Unfortunately, I no longer have this, so can't show you that. Up front you got some classic Tim Jacobus artwork. The classic Goosebumps art, as I probably say every episode, you know what it is. Especially when you're in the first 10, those became super iconic pieces. So I think if you grew up around this time, you could recognize it. You might not remember the title, but you're like, that's the Goosebump. You might know the number. I don't know. Tell me in the comments below if you've seen them out without the book cover, if you could name them. But this one shows the librarian who's, I guess, the quote-unquote monster. Eating a fly, maybe, or looking like he's going to eat a fly. The artwork on this one's actually pretty good. I don't know, right off the bat, if this is one that would have stuck out to me as a kid. I gotta read it, but we'll get to my thoughts. I think you'll understand. You should read it. It's a good one. But yeah, the artwork, just fantastic. With these early ones, I don't know how much information Tim had to go off of when he was making them. But this one, maybe the most of any of the books so far, just fit some of the physical descriptions that R.L. Stine gave. So again, just great work there. This one you can see she's got the monster of all problems as the tagline. And then The Girl Who Cried Monster and Scholastic. On the side you see Apple Fiction number 8, Goosebumps, The Girl Who Cried Monster, R.L. Stine, and then Scholastic. On the back you get more of that classic art. She's telling the truth, but no one believes her. Again, it tells you what's coming up next, which is Welcome to Camp Nightmare, which is actually a book we will be tackling here shortly, based off of Season 2's episode titles. And then there's your ISBN. This one clocks in at 137 pages, and I think that makes it one of the longer ones we've read for Goosebumps so far. And much like any other Goosebumps, you're going to see it's just writing, with the only difference in font is just the chapter font when it comes through at that number. So let's get into my thoughts on the book. So this one takes kind of that classic The Boy Who Cried Wolf, The Kid Who Cried Wolf premise and integrates it into the R.L. Stine Goosebump verse in a very cool fashion. I will say, even though this isn't the most open world one, I will say Monster Blood developed that city really well. This one is a close second. It takes you to a lot of different locations. It's not just confined to a house. In this case, you get the house, you kind of get a little bit of the neighborhood, you get the library, you even get a mall. You get some food that they like to eat, and you get an old photo development store where you would take your old camera rolls and have the photos developed for you. In this case, they did a rush one to get an hour. So a little nostalgic there, just remembering back to, at least for us, going to King Supers here had a photo center. You can go drop off your photos and then you go back and pick them up and see if they turned out well, see if any of your photos were worth, developing, paying that money for. Unlike today where you can take thousands and then be like, I don't like that one, we'll delete it, let's take it again. Back then, kind of a gamble. And in this case, that does play into the storyline. But like most stories, you get kind of that older sibling, younger sibling, at least the ones we've covered so far, Lucy being the older one, loves telling her younger brother monster stories and is always scaring him. Tries to even scare her friend with a monster story, and a bird nest falls on him and he kind of freaks out, and then she laughs and he knew right away. The parents are kind of over it. They're always like, stop telling your brother monster stories, they're not real. And of course that leads to the classic The Boy Who Cried Wolf dilemma. When Lucy is at the library, she has this reading group she's a part of over the summer, trying to earn points. You get a free book. She's not super thrilled, but she's there. And one evening while she's there, she sees something that kind of throws her off. She sees the librarian eating some flies, which later turns into eating different bugs, eating turtles, and very, very in-depth descriptions by R.L. Stine, the crunching and everything. So her journey is really trying to show people, now he's a monster, and of course no one believes her because she's been telling monster stories. So of course, why would they believe her? She tries to take a picture, so we're back full circle to developing pictures, and in her case, it wasn't worth it, because the picture, he didn't show up, so it's was she hallucinating? Was he really a monster? Do the monsters not show up? And so she tries to sneak in a couple times. She almost gets caught a few times. She's kind of lucky to get away. And then one time, she's not fast enough, the librarian catches on. So when she goes there for a reading club, before he calls her up to do the book, he locks all the doors and he traps her. He turns into the monster. She's lucky to escape, and her friends there, they're able to tell the parents. So the parents finally do believe, because it's not just her saying it. And they invite him over, and he's really sweaty. He's just and you're like, oh, why is he so nervous, And then again, you're like, hey, maybe not a monster, but it turns out he was a monster, but so was the family. The girl you're following, the parents, they're all monsters. The parents transform into the monsters with the fangs, eat the librarian. The kids don't have the fangs yet because they're not old enough. It's something that develops later on. So yeah, maybe perhaps one of the better Goosebumps plot twists is the girl you've been following and you're reading along with is a monster. Now the other guy, the librarian, was a monster too, but they just didn't want too many monsters around because they were afraid if people found out they'd run everybody out. So they're trying to lay low, just blend in with society, not cause trouble. But obviously this dude was going to cause trouble. He was going to eat the girl, and I guess her friend if he found out. So it's a good twist. I wish the story went on a little bit longer, just kind of explain it, because the twist happens and then the book feels like it's over. Just not enough after it to really develop it. Definitely one of the better twists, especially with the ones we've covered so far. I just wish there was more to it. I will say though, Stine's writing, and maybe it's just the confined spaces that they're in, really does well in here. There is some tension and some fear, and this so far I think is the best one we've read. Now we do got some more, at least to catch up with the season 2 episode titles, but at some point I want to cover all the originals and just the series and actually do a proper ranking. But yeah, so far this one I think is my favorite. It's really quite good. I would say a solid 8 out of 10. Even, obviously I'm an older reader now than when I first had read the book. I didn't remember this one as much. I don't think it's one I picked up. Again, I don't know if it was just the picture. I was always more into the werewolf or the monster designs. Shark one, I think I've talked about. But overall, this one has not disappointed. It might not be as open a world as Monster Blood, but it is. It's solid. It's a step above Stay Out of the Basement and Monster Blood, which were good in themselves. But I think this one's just a hair better. So give it an 8 out of 10. Some really good kind of just suspense. A good plot twist. I just wish a little bit longer. And if they just carried that twist a little bit better, probably a 9 out of 10. But for now, we'll give it an 8 out of 10. I think that's pretty solid. And so far, the highest Goosebump that I've reviewed. But there'll definitely be more. And if you guys want some more Culz book reviews, click the link to your left. For more about us here at Culz Paranormal, click the link to your right. For more Goosebumps related content, click that link to your bottom left. And don't forget to hit that like and give us a subscribe. And let us know, when you first read this, what were your thoughts when you found out the plot twist? And what was your favorite Goosebumps book growing up? Tell us in the comments below.